In the heart of Tokyo, CIA agent Avery Graves is sent deep behind enemy lines. Her mission: break into the private estate of a powerful arms dealer, Kenji Nakajima, and retrieve a flash drive loaded with intel on his illegal weapons network. With precision and nerve, Avery slips past high-end security and reaches the target zone. Kenji is stunned. His compound, once thought impenetrable, has been breached. He tries to buy her silence with a payoff. She doesn't flinch. Her objective is the flash drive locked in his safe, and she's not leaving without it. At first, everything goes according to plan. But when Kenji's reinforcements show up, the mission turns violent. Kenji escapes with the drive, and Avery, wounded in the leg, pushes through the pain and launches a relentless pursuit. She fights through a wave of armed guards, refusing to back down. In the end, she secures the flash drive, but not before taking out Kenji himself, deep inside his own mansion. With her mission behind her, Avery returns home to a quiet life, where her husband, David, waits without question. He believes she works a routine government job in consular security. The truth about her real job remains hidden. While Avery operates in the shadows, David works remotely, managing cargo records from their living room. To celebrate their wedding anniversary, David has cooked dinner. But Avery, eager for a break from her double life, suggests a night out. They drive along a familiar road, the same one where David once proposed. He talks about a vacation they've long postponed. For Avery, the idea of time away with him feels like a lifeline. The next morning, before heading out, Avery asks David to keep the weekend open. She's planning to request leave, this time, not for a mission, but for them. She tells him to start getting everything ready. For once, she wants their time to be real. At headquarters, Avery debriefs with her superior, Jarvis, to review the data pulled from Kenji's flash drive. The files confirm a disturbing truth. Kenji's company has been moving weapons into terrorist hands across the Middle East. But the real shock is who's behind it all. Callie, a legendary assassin with a global reputation. Jarvis is troubled. Callie's recent activity doesn't match his usual profile. While Avery was in Japan, Callie took out members of the Russian triad for crossing a line with one of his clients. Before that, he eliminated 2 undercover agents in South Africa with surgical precision. If Jarvis is right, these aren't random hits. They're signs of something bigger forming beneath the surface.
Guess who's responsible?
Kali did another hit for the Russians?
Kali fulfilled the contract for him.
He's been deviating from his MO for the last year.
When you were in Japan, this went down in Krakow.
Why is a top assassin solely taking contracts for the Russian mob?
Digging into the agency database, Avery searches for a pattern. But all she finds are reports of low-level killings. Nothing like the high-value jobs Callie was once known for. Something isn't adding up. That afternoon, Avery returns home and briefly crosses paths with her friendly neighbors, Abby and Niklaus. They invite her and David to dinner, but she turns them down. This weekend, she and David are finally getting away. But when Avery steps into the house, her plans come to a stop. The dining room is wrecked. Everything's been torn apart. Then the phone rings. Avery answers the phone, and a stranger delivers a chilling ultimatum. Her husband is alive, but not safe. To get him back, she must retrieve a hidden file lodged inside the false tooth of a prisoner held at a black site run by the CIA. The prisoner's ID, 091-2749. She has 9 hours. When the time's up, a payphone in Gajiva Alley will ring. If he doesn't answer with the file in hand, David dies. If she alerts the CIA, he dies instantly. Acting fast, Avery contacts Sarina, a skilled hacker and old ally. But this time, she plays hardball, threatening to expose Serena to Russian intelligence if she refuses to cooperate. Forced to comply, Serena begins tracking the call. It will take time, but once she has a location, she'll send it straight to Avery. Back at the agency, Avery digs through classified records, searching for anything on Canary Black, but comes up empty. She shifts focus to the prisoner with a matching ID. The name is Laszlo Stoica. She sends a request to Agent Maxfield for access. Every second counts. But what she doesn't know is that the file isn't just a target, it's a trap. Every step pulls her deeper into a game she never agreed to play. And now, there's no way out. This is Canary Black. Just then, Serena sends the address. Avery moves fast, hoping to find David. But when she arrives, all she finds is his wedding ring. Then, another phone starts ringing. The same voice returns, this time furious. He knows Avery tried to trace him. As punishment, he tells her there's now a landmine beneath her. One wrong step and it's over. The message is clear. This isn't just about completing the mission. It's personal. If she dies, her husband dies too. Despite the unexpected, Avery survives the trap and makes her way to a hidden CIA facility where prisoner Laszlo Stoica is being held. There, she meets Agent Maxfield, who runs the site. He's hesitant to let her talk to Laszlo, but Avery pushes back. She explains the urgency, linking Laszlo to the notorious killer, Callie. That gets Maxfield's attention and permission. Inside the interrogation room, Avery questions Laszlo about his past with Kenji. Her intel suggests their last deal collapsed because Kenji wanted access to something called Canary Black. When she mentions it, Laszlo freezes. He knows exactly what she's talking about, but says nothing. Time is running out.
I recently met with a friend of yours in Japan. According to him, you back-channeled a meeting because you had something to sell. I heard the two of you discussed a file. Canary Black.
Desperate, Avery attacks, trying to force the file out of its hiding place in one of his teeth. Seeing this, Maxfield bursts into the room to stop Avery's assault. But instead of backing down, Avery turns on him and makes a break for it. As Maxfield contacts headquarters to report her, something catches his eye, the fake tooth. It's already been opened. The file is gone. In an instant, the situation escalates. Avery is no longer just a rogue agent. She's now the CIA's top fugitive. She's accused of stealing the Canary Black file, a move so serious that even director Nathan Evans compares it to the work of a terrorist. While the agency moves to hunt her down, one man stands in her defense, Jarvis. He refuses to believe she's turned. Jarvis has known her since she was 18. He helped train her. He knows her loyalty. But Evans isn't interested in loyalty. He's focused on the threat. The Canary Black file contains explosive data, a classified list of corrupt officials across top government ranks. If it leaks, it could bring down the entire administration. Evans puts Maxfield in charge of the hunt with one mission: find Avery, no matter the cost. Elsewhere, Avery keeps watch on a house from distance. Back at the agency, Maxfield questions her background and asks if Jarvis has vetted everyone close to her. Jarvis explains that Avery has no family, only a husband, David, who works in logistics and knows nothing about her real job. Maxfield immediately orders a full trace on David's phone, messages, bank activity, and location data. Moments later, they find something alarming. David's phone has been off for hours. Before disappearing, he used an ATM and booked a flight using both his real name and an alias connected to Avery. Then Jarvis' phone rings. It's his wife's number, but the voice is Avery's. She tells him David has been taken and the kidnappers want the Canary Black file. But she never found the file in Laszlo's cell. She believes Callie is behind it all. Desperate, she begs Jarvis to believe her and check their home. She insists she's not a traitor. Soon after, Maxfield leads a team to search Avery's house. looking for proof she's gone rogue. Jarvis joins the operation, unsure who to trust. But once inside, everything is clean and orderly, nothing like the ransacked scene Avery described. For the first time, Jarvis starts to question her story. Avery makes her next move, heading to a nightclub to find McCullough's, a known figure in the city's criminal underworld. With no allies left, she turns to the kind of people she once hunted. She offers him payment for a list of every foreign agent, contract killer, and broker working nearby. She gives him 2 hours, then vanishes into the night. Later, hidden in one of her safe houses, Avery is ambushed. A hitman, sent by her husband's kidnappers, comes for her. But she reacts fast, one precise shot, and the attacker drops. His phone rings. On the line is the same voice threatening David. Avery is told her emergency cash reserves have already been taken. And worse, there's still no sign of the Canary Black file. She's running out of options, out of time, and out of leverage. The enemy doesn't care. He wants a file. Until it's in his hands, David suffers. She has just 4 hours left. In a last attempt to shift the odds, Avery sends a coded message to Jarvis, asking to meet in an open field. When they meet, she lays it all out. She kept him in the dark because the enemy seems to know her every move. But Jarvis hits her with hard facts. She's now the CIA's most wanted agent. Her home showed no signs of a break-in. And David had vanished right after buying 2 plane tickets, one in her name. Avery stands her ground, claiming she's been set up. She demands to know what Canary Black really is. Jarvis finally tells her it's a classified archive of corrupt actions committed by top government officials. He urges her to surrender, saying it's her only shot at proving her innocence. But what Avery doesn't know is that Jarvis has already called in a team to arrest her on the spot. Agents move in and take her into custody. She's rushed towards CIA headquarters for interrogation and to recover the missing file. But before they get far, the convoy is attacked. A group of unidentified vehicles launches a sudden assault, trying to extract Avery by force. When Avery wakes up from the crash, chaos surrounds her. She escapes the wreck, grabs a weapon, and opens fire on her attackers. One by one, she takes them down. But when she sees the face of the man she just killed, she freezes. It's Niklaus, her quiet, friendly neighbor. Back at CIA headquarters, Jarvis receives another blow. A report confirms David never arrived at the airport in Vienna. Then a photo lands on his desk. It's Niklaus dead. Jarvis recognizes him instantly. And with that, the stakes rise again. At the remote hideout, David remains captive. Inside, Abby is enraged. Her husband is dead, and she blames Avery for it. But Breznov shows no sympathy. He reminds her that death is part of the job. Still, he gives her what she wants, the green light to kill Avery, but only after they secure the file. Elsewhere, Avery meets McCullough's at a secret location. She hands over a bundle of cash for the intel he provided. McCullough's hesitates, saying the information wasn't worth the price. In response, Avery explains that her safe house was hit and everything she had is gone. She doesn't threaten him directly, but makes it clear she could report his connection to last month's failed hit on the French ambassador. Feeling the pressure, McCullough's gives in. He reveals that the Kruger brothers are back in town, and so is Callie. But Callie is in trouble, owing money to the Russian mob. As for the man Avery thought was her friendly neighbor, he was an Austrian mercenary with a history in Chechnya, Libya, and Ukraine. These people live off the grid. No passports, no trals, and no way for the CIA to track them. In Austria, CIA Director Evans arrives at the National Security Agency to meet its head, Breznov. But the meeting is tense. Breznov is angry, blaming Evans for allowing one of his agents to disrupt national stability. Evans tries to smooth things over, offering intelligence sharing and cooperation between the two countries. Breznov agrees, masking his real agenda behind a polite handshake. Meanwhile, Avery uses a fake passport to infiltrate Evan's hotel. She slips past security and enters his room undetected. She needs answers and fast. To keep her actions quiet, she uses a sound-suppressing mask to question him without alerting the guards outside. Avery accuses Evans of hiding the truth. She believes the Canary Black file was never in Laszlo's possession. Evans has it. She forces him to access his laptop, but he delays by entering the wrong password 3 times, locking the device. Furious, Avery breaks several of his fingers and attaches a remote detonator to his neck. She's done playing games. Running out of time, Avery calls Serena one last time. She also reaches out to Jarvis, asking for the blueprints of PLK Technologies, the site housing the secure server needed to transmit classified files. Avery has no backup plan. She's placing all her trust in Jarvis, the only person who might help her connect the dots, including Callie's role in the operation. Shortly after, Avery meets Serena, who arrives with a human-lift drone prototype, still experimental, but their only option. Once Jarvis sends the building layout, Serena flies Avery straight to the rooftop of PLK Technologies. Using Evan's stolen access card, Avery bypasses security and enters the facility. Inside, she finds a Canary Black file and transfers the data to her flash drive. But back at the hotel, Evan's assistant grows suspicious his boss hasn't checked in. Hotel staff enter Evan's room and are stunned to find him restrained and wounded. He immediately orders his assistant to alert PLK Technologies and shut down the server. Back at the facility, alarms go off. Security is on the move. Avery races to escape, contacting Serena for a fast extraction, this time from the east window. Reaching the roof is no longer an option. During the extraction, disaster strikes. The drone malfunctions and crashes mid-air, sending Avery plummeting. Fortunately, she survives the fall and quickly tells Serena to meet her at their original rendezvous point. News spreads fast. When Breznov learns Avery breached a CIA-secured facility and escaped with the file, he orders his team to prepare. He believes their moment of triumph is near. Later, Avery hands a Canary Black file to Serena for analysis. But what they find isn't what anyone expected. The file doesn't contain evidence of corruption. It's a weapon. A powerful virus capable of encrypting global internet traffic, locking every device it touches, and collapsing a country's entire infrastructure. It's a cyber bomb with a hit list of nations. Avery is stunned. The threat is bigger than anything she imagined. But right now, all that matters is saving David. With time running out, Avery sends a final message to Jarvis, asking him to track her phone's location. She races to a public phone in Gajiva Alley. She has less than 7 minutes. Fighting through traffic, she runs a red light and crashes, but keeps moving. She won't stop until she reaches that phone. Avery reaches the phone booth, but she's too late. The call from Breznov goes unanswered. Before she can react, a shadowy figure sneaks up behind her and fires a stun gun. She collapses unconscious. Back at CIA headquarters, Director Evans is furious. He orders Jarvis and the entire agency to launch a full-scale search across the city. Every tool is activated. Mobile networks, surveillance grids, and facial recognition systems scan every street. No one linked to Avery is off-limits. Every known contact, every contractor, every mention of Callie is now part of the investigation. Meanwhile, Breznov makes his next move. After locking the Canary Black virus behind encrypted firewalls, he issues a chilling broadcast. At the exact moment world leaders gather in New York for a global summit, Breznov steps forward with a message. Every nation is now under threat. And if they want to survive, they must obey his demands. With help from stolen U.S. intelligence, Brezhnev now controls Canary Black, a weaponized computer virus built to bring the internet to a standstill. Each nation has its own version, programmed to shut down everything from financial systems to public infrastructure. His demand is clear: 1% of each country's GDP. To prove he's serious, Brezhnev threatens to unleash the virus on Singapore as a warning. Every government is given an account for payment. They have just 1 hour to comply. At CIA headquarters, Maxfield confronts Director Evans, demanding answers. Evans reveals the truth. Canary Black was developed by the U.S. as a cyber warfare deterrent, a digital equivalent of a nuclear weapon. It's the government's most tightly guarded secret. Not even the president knows it exists. A version of the virus was even designed for use on the U.S. itself, reserved for emergencies like civil war or foreign attack. Now, their only option is to trace the source of the global broadcast before things spiral out of control. Meanwhile, Jarvis tracks Avery's phone signal to a drainage tunnel beneath the city. But just as he moves in, Brezhnev's men ambush him. He's captured and brought face-to-face with the man behind it all. Jarvis is stunned, but there's no time for questions. Brezhnev eliminates him on the spot, clearing the path to continue his high-stakes negotiations with the rest of the world.
We have a tourist.
This is an unpleasant surprise.
Brezhnev, you're behind this. We're safe.
Don't get attached to people you can't save.
Not long after, Brezhnev brings Avery back to consciousness. Still dazed from the sedative, she listens as he lays out his agenda. He speaks with disdain for American power, blaming the U.S. for global destruction. His mission is clear: strike back, not with bullets, but with a silent war that can cost millions of lives. Avery begs to see David, believing he's still holding on, still honoring the promise they made. But her hope shatters as Brezhnev fires more shots in him. She screams in anguish, but Brezhnev is unmoved. He turns to Abby, ordering her to finish the job, to avenge her own husband by ending David's life. At the global summit, chaos erupts. World leaders are thrown in a crisis as Brezhnev's cyber ultimatum lands. Panic spreads. Some begin arranging the ransom transfers, fearing the total collapse of their nations. Back at the hideout, Abby moves in to carry out the order. David, bleeding and barely conscious, appears too weak to resist. But then, suddenly, he strikes back. His moves are fast, precise, and lethal. In a blur, he overpowers and kills his attacker. Avery is stunned. The man she thought she knew just revealed a side she never saw coming. Avery, still reeling, demands the truth. David finally confesses he's the one who gave Brezhnev the original lead on Canary Black. It was the only thing he ever told her, but it set everything in motion. He explains that his source claimed Laszlo had the file, which gave Brezhnev the excuse he needed to go after it. David reveals the real reason he got involved. He was drowning in debt after a failed mission for the Russian mafia. When they expose his identity to Brezhnev, he had no choice but to comply. He apologizes for all the lies, but swears that his feelings for Avery were never part of the act. Then he drops the final truth: he is Callie, the assassin she's been chasing all along. Now he's asking for a second chance, hoping to make things right. At the same time, the CIA is scrambling. They're trying to track the hackers, but the signals keep shifting. Every second, their location changes. Tensions around the world are rising fast, and now many countries believe the U.S. is responsible for unleashing the chaos. In response, Evans issues a new order: find Jarvis. His phone was last active in the city, and a tactical team is dispatched to that exact location. Avery is crushed when she discovers Jarvis dead. But there's no time to grieve. The mission isn't over. Nearby, David, wounded but still standing, locates a control panel and begins shutting down the facility's power grid. Avery storms into Brezhnev's command center and opens fire. Chaos erupts as his team scrambles to restore the server. One man is already down, bleeding. Reznov makes a final attempt to stop her, but Avery fights with everything she has. She wins. Reznov is taken out, and the transfer is stopped just in time. Then, Avery comes face to face with David once more. He says he wants a fresh start. No more lies, no more secrets. But the damage is done. Without a word, Avery takes off her wedding ring and hands it back. Moments later, Evans and a strike team burst in. Avery and David are both targets. But David slips away into the night, leaving behind the hope that maybe, one day, their paths will cross again. Not long after, Avery sits in an interrogation room, face to face with Evans. He's furious. He accuses her of nearly triggering a global war. In his eyes, the damage is done, and her fate is already decided. No defense, no appeal. But then, the door opens. A woman named Elizabeth steps in, calm, composed, and in command. She reminds Evans that she outranks him and is acting under orders from the president. He's dismissed. Elizabeth turns to Avery with a different offer. She's seen what Avery is capable of, how she handled one of the most dangerous threats the world has ever faced. She's not here to punish her. She's here to recruit her. Elizabeth offers Avery a spot in MC6, an elite new unit built for missions too critical for anyone else. If she joins, all charges disappear. If she refuses, she'll spend the rest of her life behind bars. In the final moment, Avery walks alone down a quiet street filled with memories. She reaches the old bridge where David once proposed. And there, resting on the railing, is their wedding ring, left behind, as if waiting for her. And with that, the story closes. So the moral of the story is, never assume your husband's boring desk job is real. He might actually be a legendary assassin who ruins your vacation plans.